reach him, Laura?
Gordon is booting his computer up right now. We're doing the Selectmen's meeting?
Camera focused on a computer monitor with all you guys on it, and a microphone up to a speaker that's feeding the internet, feeding the cable station, and the live stream. So it's a little roundabout way, but it works.
Okay.
Oh, that's...
Dennis, did you hear that well, Dennis?
I do not. How's this?
Much better.
Okay. This feed is being basically it's a camera focused on a computer monitor that captures all of you guys, and then there's a microphone in front of a speaker. So it's a rudimentary way of doing it, but it seems to be the most effective.
Got the Aurora Palace behind him there. That's very nice. All right, so let's call this to order. I think we can disperse with the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, unless everybody's got flags in their home. We have no public hearing. No announcement or any announcements from the board?
None for me.
I have none.
Right.
I don't have any either, Dennis.
Appointments this evening. Certainly tough for public comment, so we'll disperse with that. Dispense with that, rather. You have correspondence of treasurer's reports and the motor vehicle reports are here if anybody would like to look at them at the town office. So why don't we go into reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's report. So Gordon, anything?
No, has Dave got his cloaking device on? Because I don't, it's just, I just have a black screen there for him.
You can watch him move every once in a while. He's in his vehicle, so.
Ah, okay.
Dave, anything to report?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
Dwayne, anything?
Just I want to thank everybody for all the cards and whatnot that's been sent in, and I am up and about. And we'll be getting back to your meetings eventually here.
Okay. Well, for the foreseeable future, I think this is the way we're going to have to meet, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how things shake out here in the next few weeks. But
Yeah.
And I'm all set. So Gary, I guess I'll pass the baton to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In terms of a COVID update, we opened back to the public today, as most people know. And time and I guess the vaccination implementation and the success will rule on how much longer we'll be able to remain open. We have some significant exposures and quarantines that are affecting the fire, EMS, and recreation staff. We've all in our own lives experienced that getting closer and closer around us. I don't hold out much hope that town hall's going to be open right through spring, but we'll give it a shot and do the best we can anyway. Recreation lost another teenager today from an exposure and a required 14-day quarantine. Just a refresher for the public on Little Ospey Lake, the water level is not going down anymore. It's at the level for the winter, which is 2 feet below summertime level. In terms of Public Works Director vacancy, I have 8 applications so far, and I would hope we could schedule interviews by the end of next week. I can see 2, maybe 3 interviews there, possibly 4 if another one comes in. So we could hopefully do that in an afternoon or early evening. In terms of an audit, we're trying to have a conference call with our auditors tomorrow afternoon, and we do not have a firm date for the completion at this time. I think they found some significant things that they needed to spend some more time on, but they are all done their field work here. And that's a very brief report, but that's all I have for tonight, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any questions? Comments?
Go ahead, Gordon.
Wondering what these significant things are that they uncovered, or
You may hear more about that in the end when they present. We haven't really discussed those. There's nothing in terms of anything, improper in terms of use of funds. It's more in preparation, the documents that were or were not ready, things like that.
oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing to be concerned about in terms of fraud, if that's your question.
Well, I think that the statement itself sort of lends itself to all kinds of suppositions that may occur from people that might be listening to this. I just want to kind of clear the air and let them be assured that there's nothing improper going on.
That's correct. Yeah, it's more preparation.
Thank you.
Anything else?
If for some reason you need somebody to help interview those public works, I can get out and get down to the town office. I just may need a ride, that's all.
Well, I assume this interview, Dwayne, is going to be by Zoom, because I don't think
Okay,
anybody should be in here the way the county
okay,
is right now.
yeah, I don't want to be anywhere where it's dangerous, because I don't need it, so,
Well, I think this is one of those places,
yeah,
unfortunately.
okay. Yeah,
But thank you.
Any other questions of Gary?
I don't
Let's
have any.
jump into the new business update on the budget.
We're a little over 6 months into this fiscal year, and it's really surprising on the revenue side. The non-property tax revenues are 74% collected. That's for non-property tax. Our excise tax, we budgeted 1.3 million. We've already collected 887,000. I guess people are fine with getting good deals on new cars, and that's continuing. Our property tax revenue collected so far is at 52%, so pretty much spot on right halfway through the year. Building permit fees are at our 120% of what we budgeted for the year already. And you heard weeks before, that we've had 50 new houses for the previous calendar year. And Glenn expects that to continue right through the end of this fiscal year. Our homestead revenues are up almost 30%, because I think we missed that increase in the homestead when we budgeted a little over a year ago, and it was increased after that by the governor's office, or by legislation, I should say. On the expense side, we're 44% expended after 50% of the year behind us. I guess you'd say the problem side, the York County taxes were 25,000 over our budget. We budgeted 410, and they came out at 435,000. So there's an issue there that we'll make up in the entire budget. The electrical work we did last fall was unplanned, so taking some of God's first station budget, a little overspent by the end of the year, and there was considerable overtime in the elections line for obvious reasons because of all the absentee balloting. So those are the few things that stick out on the expense side, but overall, when you balance these two things, we're looking very well. I'm just amazed that the revenues are holding so strong or increasing in some of the non-property tax arenas.
One of the things that I looked at was the, certainly, I kind of, every time Julie puts something out, I look at the balance in the checkbook, but more importantly, it looks like we're better than 50% collected on taxes, which is a little bit surprising, but I think out of the 11.6 million, we've collected 6, and so there's 5 left. So that's, like I said, a little amazing on property tax collections, but it's the same. I think, you know, I would have thought that this excise tax thing would have leveled out, but it doesn't appear to be leveling out at all. But that's a good thing. I guess we'll take a windfall in excise tax.
Yeah, and then just moving forward into the next budget as the preparations move on. I got Josh's transfer station data last week. Haven't quite plugged it into the finished Excel document yet. And I think the capital improvement and public works are going to need maybe a little bit of February time to finish those out. Tommy and I are going to try and get together. You know, I'd like to think later this week. It's going to be a challenge to get some of the paving and the other capital lines completed, since we didn't have, you know, a really comprehensive list that we had when David resigned. But we'll get through that. They certainly have a list of paved roads. He and Jason have been working on it, and there's more than enough there to spend the amount of money that we had before. So we'll get that finalized in good time. And I made the plea before. I think, you know, we may be down to 4 people on the budget committee. I cannot get a hold of one of the members, either with voicemail or email. So I'm not sure if he's moved or he might be ill. I'd like to have the initial budget committee meeting next Monday. It's definitely going to be by Zoom. We don't want people in the building here to be exposed. So stay tuned for more information on that. And at the next meeting, I'll report whether or not that meeting was held and what their thoughts are going forward. I would like to cut their meetings about in half. It's difficult to do all this by Zoom. You don't have as good a meeting, although I think it works as good as it can. But in terms of meeting with the code officer, meeting with the librarian, those types of things, if they're willing to do less of that, then I think we can get done in much less time. It usually takes us 8 to 10 meetings. We lose 1 or 2 from Mother Nature. So I'd like to cut that in half, or at least a third of those out if we can.
As far as your hot top budget, I would think that in 2 or 3 hours you could ride around town and figure out where the hot top is mainly needed. You got about 56 miles of road, and at 20 miles an hour, that's 2.5 hours of riding. And you'd see right now where that hot top is open or closed and breaking out. So if we haven't got a 5-year game plan or a 3-year game plan, then that's probably the way we ought to be riding and looking.
I think they've done that, Dwayne, and they can give me a list that would probably be more than enough. I just don't know the details of the priority of it.
Right. And some of it needs 13 feet or 14 feet, and then some of it needs 17 feet of pavement. So it's, you know, a little bit of act involved there, but.
Well, if we got to go through by brute force and come up with a budget, we can do that. But
we'll get there.
Yeah.
It don't matter what you put in there for hot top, it can be spent somewhere here in town because the roads are breaking up. So.
For sure.
Yeah, I always like to give you guys a list, at least of the big projects and the length of that.
All right. Any other questions on the budget? Yeah, just let us know, Gary, if, you know, if 1 or 2 of us want to zoom in on that meeting, then just to listen, and I would think that it would be nice to cut them down a little bit, but, you know, we do have Zoom, and if you gotta bring in the department heads on a Zoom meeting, then you bring them in on a Zoom meeting, so.
Yeah, and since Dave Lowe's listening in here, Dave, please extend the invitation when we do that to the selectmen as well as to the budget committee.
You had a fella up on Deeran's Ridge that was interested in the finances. He's just before you go up over the big hill on the right-hand side. It's got the big motorcycle bus out there. Don't remember his name, but he was interested in the finance committee.
Maruda, but
Yeah, something, I couldn't pronounce his name if I wanted to, so.
Well, we have to just finalize to see if we do truly have a vacancy.
Right,
right.
but we have interviewed a couple that was already interested in it, and there wasn't any openings at the time, so.
Okay. Kind of teed this up a little bit last week. I know everybody had a copy of what Dave Lowe had presented, but, you know, I think especially, you know, who knows when this is all going to shake out and end here, but I think for a very little amount of money, we could all at least be on the same technical platform here, so we can have some more discussion relative to, you know, iPads or what's the other the little laptop or one of those items that I think Dave presented, but and if this continues to go on, so we're all on Zoom, I think we all at least ought to be working off of the same equipment that we know works and everything else. So
I've got a newer computer here tonight, and it's 100% clearer than what it was a couple weeks ago. So I ain't
that's
saying
good.
Newer is better, but it is quite an improvement here.
Anything else on COVID exposure, Gary?
I think the mega site in Sanford for vaccinations is going to be announced fairly soon. In fact, somebody told me in the paper it was the old Marshall store down at the Center for Shopping. And that's going to happen, I think, in theory, within the next week or two, I guess, to put hundreds of people through there to get a shot. Not sure what they'll use for a sign-up process, and I'm really not sure about staffing, because I learned at the county EMA meeting last week that was, on paper anyway, going to be staffed by fire and EMS personnel from all the towns in the county, which would mean you'd have to have about 25 people there each and every hour to process that many people to get 1,000 people a day through there. And
Right.
I'll tell you, with the way our staff is dropping like flies here, from quarantine exposures, et cetera, I just don't know if you're going to be able to get that many, essentially, volunteers from the individual communities to come there. I was a little disappointed to hear that Southern Maine Healthcare, or Maine Health, didn't even know that this large vaccination site was happening a little over a week ago. That's just awful to hear that.
Has Southern or has Maine Health now flipped the switch on the old Goodall property? Is that going to be an inoculation center?
No, there's not enough parking there. They need a lot more parking. So I think they're going to be at a larger, what I was told would be a retail location down at the Center for Shopping Mall.
But I mean, the Maine Health is now, well, they're taking reservations for inoculations now. Okay. In fact, if you go to the website today, it says all the appointments are filled. Please check back tomorrow. Oh. And on the news today, they were talking about 18,000. They booked 18,000 appointments or something.
First day.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know where they're gonna do those, but you're right, if they don't work together, one would think that you would work together on something like this, right?
Well, my guess is that their facility in Waterboro will be perhaps for their patients. But there's been nothing official released. I would think that they would do vaccinations here, but that's up to them, I guess.
Okay.
The appointments may be slowing down because, I don't know if you caught the news, they had a shipment come in of, I think, like 4,500 doses that was contaminated for some reason. They're waiting for backup shipment to come in. So that's going to hold things up for a little bit.
I'm sure that there's gonna be all kinds of, little, crazy things that go on with the two vaccines, and I don't, because I guess in overseas in Europe anyway, it's in the UK, it's a different, they've approved a different one, right? Which is the third one or something, so. Anyway, we'll see.
Single dose, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about the town report dedication. I had mentioned a week or two ago.
John Champion.
John Champion. I'm not sure if there are any others, recommendations or whatnot. We don't have to do it today or tonight or whatever, but I think we need to at least get a handful of folks that we want to look at.
There are other nominations from you, gentlemen.
I don't have any at this time. However, I'm going to continue to search and look around.
Give it some thought. We'll, as we start to wrap things up here with the town report, where do we stand with, I guess, all of the data that's got to go into the report?
Well, Laura's already started gathering that. If she can get to a microphone, then she can probably tell you what she's done.
So
She knows more.
I have collected a lot of the town government. So I've got like the Congress people and so forth, congressmen, state. I'm just waiting on, Governor Mills. Sorry. I'm just waiting on Governor Mills, but I've got everybody else, and I'm waiting on Dwayne Prescott also. I saw him today. He came in, and I reminded him again.
So Dennis, maybe I'll beat you and submit mine before you this year.
So, should I send out an email to all of staff head departments and ask for letters, or how do you?
Yes, please. Their end of year report that they've usually done.
And when do you want it done by? The end of February, or?
Oh, why don't we, in that email, why don't you put third week of February?
Okay.
You and I'll have to get together with Tom to do the Public Works one.
Okay.
All right.
Dennis, can I ask a follow-up on the laptops? Is there anything else you want David or I to do in terms of models or pricing or something to play with?
Well, I mean, maybe it's going to be tough. I mean, if we were all meeting there, you could probably get one of each and at least look at, or borrow one of each and look at what's going on. But, it's kind of tough to do with us all now kind of being a little bit remote. But, I think Dave, you had prices on the iPad and a small laptop, and I don't know if you did a Surface or Microsoft Surface, and I don't know which one would be best, but I do think that we're at a point where we probably all ought to have the the same technology anyway going forward.
Right, yeah, I gave you the iPad and I gave you Lenovo laptops. The Lenovo's got a very good laptop now, and they're probably the cheapest out of the bunch, with the best products, so there's no compromise in quality at all. With an iPad, you'd have to, get used to using the on-screen keyboard, but you also have Cortana to talk to, or Siri, I guess, actually. However, with the laptops too, you have Cortana built into Windows 10, so I guess it depends if you're more comfortable with a regular keyboard, like a laptop, or if you're okay with the iPhone, iPad type of electronic keyboard that's on those, plus the ability to use the microphone to just talk your text in if you're composing an email, for instance, and you have all of the word
Yeah,
suggestions.
I almost think that, Dave, that, you probably need to look at something that does have a keyboard.
Yep.
So that I think some of us are used to the iPhones and everything else, but certainly if you want to do any correspondence at all, I think that it makes sense to have a keyboard.
Yeah, so those Lenovo's are a big deal.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Question on cleaning the town hall. Have we had a professional outfit come in and clean that town hall so that there's less chance of infection in that town hall if we've got, or should we have somebody come in every couple of weeks and clean that down so that we aren't holding this stuff inside?
You see this gun that Gary's hanging? Hold
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Wayne, this is a fogger, and
Yeah.
works very well. We have one for the fire station that they use in the ambulance, wherever else, and we used it here.
Yeah.
I've used it several times, and you can do the selectmen's room in probably, maybe 4 or 5 minutes if you have to move a little bit of furniture. It's electrostatically charged, so that if you scoot it underneath the desk or a chair, some of that gets sucked up onto that metal and that wood, which is far superior than just wiping surfaces down. We're still doing the cleanings in the front lobby.
yeah,
But the real value of this, I guess, is that you can actually soak the carpets if you think you need to.
Right.
Make a mess of the windows when you spray the front
Yeah.
door. We just clean that up. So this is a great labor saver here, and it
Okay.
kills 99% of virus and bacteria.
yeah, that's good. Long as we're trying to cut it down, stop it,
Yep.
so. That would be my biggest concern, is that we're doing the best we can do, but,
Yeah, everybody in the front lobby, we've got some issues with some staff that have a real problem wearing a mask in terms of their body temperature, but they're toughing through it and wearing them. And, I'm pleased with that. We all know when we get out of our office, we need to put that mask on.
right. Well, the face shield, I see a good many of them wearing the face shield and the face mask, but if you got the face shield, you can go to a little lighter material as far as a mask, so that you can breathe in it too.
The girls have the plastic in front of them, the plastic window,
Yeah,
whatever you call that. What is that called?
Sneeze guards or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, anything else, folks? If you can think of anything, Gary and I did meet with Senator Woodsum and can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, relative to this taxation of these solar farms, and right now the state has got them all exempt from paying taxes, but on the plus side of that, the state constitution says that if the state legislature exempts something, then the state is obligated to pay us 50% of that exemption, but, anyway, we've been working with Dave about, maybe, issuing or putting in a bill that's gonna somewhat change that, but
That whole bill should be including like, our health facility down in the East Waterboro with no taxation out of that $1 million building down there. We're losing tax dollars all the time.
yeah, well, this is why these guys are jumping on, putting in all of these, less than 5 megawatt, facilities, less than 20 acres. They're playing that little dance with the land use, requirements of being under 20 and now, because the ceiling is 5 megawatts for the, tax exemption, so that's why these guys are all jumping on, hey, let's go build solar farms somewhere.
Yeah.
We also assume that there's not going to be a whole lot of extra money in Augusta over the next biennium. And if there's a way that the state of Maine can get out of reimbursing the towns at 50% and put that on the solar owners, that might be something that it's going to have both Democrat and Republican support, and support from the governor as well, because that 50% to these 400 to 500 solar projects the size of what we have here scattered around the state, that's going to be millions of dollars that by constitution is going to be required to be reimbursed to the town. And simply by changing the size of those projects for the exemption will mean that the solar owners would have to pay that. I just see that as one of those rare Augusta potential win-win situations for the government, obviously not for the private investor.
From what I can gather, it's too late to put a bill in on that this year, so it's gonna have to go in on, next fall's agenda.
I guess it all depends if it gets called emergency, Dwayne.
Yeah.
That's always up to the powers that be up there.
The other issue is, as they start to come to realization of what this is gonna cost, there's been, I think they threw around, potentially the governor's office calling it an excise tax, and I'm not sure who gets that money. I'm assuming that the municipalities would get most of that money, but we'll see what happens here. But all we know is they've already clearing land over in South Waterboro, and I know there's survey in East Waterboro. So, and I don't think they've heard back from the McLucas Road project yet, have they, Gary?
No, there's nothing new there. We assume that they have surveyors up there taking advantage of this good weather and no snow in the woods. Angela has received nothing yet from the developers. The meeting tomorrow night has been canceled for lack of business. We really don't know if they're going to have anything for the 17th, I guess. No. I'm sorry, for the February 3rd. They really don't know.
Okay. So if anybody, we want to throw something on the agenda, let me know. We'll meet again on Groundhog Day. Might be appropriate. But anyway, so we do have to approve the minutes of the January 5th meeting. If someone would make a motion to do that.
So moved.
Only Gordon to second it. So.
Who was
All
that?
those in favor? All right, so I see David's raising his hand. So 3-0 and 1 abstention because Dwayne wasn't at the meeting. So anything else we need to do? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Good night.
Stay healthy.